Good evening. I don't think is it working? Good evening. I have been sitting here listening very attentively to your comments, and I'm hoping that tonight we can share some things that we are doing in our district. First of all, when we came in to this position 3 years ago, the first thing I said to Andy Johnson, who is our safety coordinator, I said, Andy, I want no more out-of-school suspensions. And I said, you get out there and you find a model that we can work with. Well, Andy did that. He went out, he found a model, and we began working. We knew we had to train folks because it needed to be the right person in there with those children. We also knew that we wanted to do a developmental behavioral program with those students. There's a big difference between punishment and discipline. Discipline should teach you something. Punishment is just getting you out of someone's hair sometimes. But discipline is very important to me, and as a guidance counselor and a teacher, when those children are placed in, we call it STP, Student Training Program. When you go to STP, you not only have to do all of your work, but you have to complete and discuss with the monitor in there a behavioral packet or program that talks about the behavior that put you in there in the first place. If you come back for 2 visits, then you get regular visits with the guidance counselor, and we start looking at maybe there's something brewing here that is greater than even we imagine. Well, let me tell you, those things cost money. And there are a lot of people out there who know the exact cost to the penny of everything I do. But very few of them know the value of what we do. And the money to me is so well spent. The first year we went in 2013, we had 3,015 out-of-school suspensions. And I said, nope, we're not doing this anymore. The next year in 14, the end of 14, we had 763. This year, thank you, we have 649, and those suspensions are primarily, we did an analysis. I know exactly which schools are suspending those children. I know exactly who's suspending them. I know where they're getting in trouble, and in each of those schools this week, after a very comprehensive data analysis study, we will be speaking with these folks. What could you have done differently? Because frankly, a 14-year-old boy who is set to his own devices will find something to do. And if you're not watching him and he's not with you, you are setting him out there with people that don't have his best interest at heart. So I said to our staff and our principals and our teachers, I said, our mission is to educate children. Anytime you suspend a child from school, you are abandoning that mission. And I believe that with all of my heart. And I can tell you, when we look at this and we talked about it, we began to realize some other things that were happening in our system. We work very closely with Judge Ketchel. We too agree with you on attendance, and that attendance is a huge problem. So we decided to bite the bullet, and some people are kicking and screaming every time you want to spend $1 to do something that's right for children. I said, we're going to fix this attendance business. Judge Ketchel started working with us. Those in-school suspension monitors also serve as our call-out service when a child is out of school. Those parents don't just get an automated call. They get a call. And after 5 absences, then we work with Judge Ketchel. He works with those parents, because you know, a lot of times those younger ones, folks, they can't get themselves to school. And sometimes they need a little encouragement to be able to do that. The other thing that we looked at was in our STP model, we also looked at the issue, I believe Ms. McDaniel referred to some of the mental issues that we're seeing in our community. We didn't have guidance counselors in all of our schools. And I said, what do you mean? We're going to have guidance counselors in every school. Well, we had to bite the bullet again. You know, nothing costs less than $1 million in education. I don't know if you've ever had the experience of that, but nothing. But also we started looking at our emotionally and behaviorally disabled students. Those kids that are in those lower grades, we started looking at those programs and we realized this is not working. This is not working. We put a task force together of teachers, principals, some parents, and we said, what do we need to do to positively impact these children, because their behaviors were becoming more and more difficult and violent. And this year, thanks to a supportive school board who realized, hey, this is worth some money too, we have been able to totally revamp our lower elementary. We're looking at doing middle school next year and seeing what we can do there. But I would say this to you, if we don't do something, as Rick pointed out, these kids become triple dippers on the tax dollar. We pay to educate them, then we pay for the justice system to deal with them. If we don't do our part in the education system, and I've got them for 37 hours a week, and I told my staff for 37 hours a week, they belong to us. And we're going to do our part. And like someone said, I think a few moments ago, we can't point fingers and blame this and blame that, but for those 37 hours, they belong to me. And I'm going to do the very best that I can do. Not only will we pay to educate them, if they get in trouble, there's a cost to the justice system, $30,000, did you say, a year? Someone said a few moments ago, per inmate in the justice system. Then think about the lost wages. Think about the lack of money that comes into your community from these folks not earning a living. But then think about it, most of these people won't be homeowners. You'll have decreased property taxes. So it is a triple dip effect if we do not effectively work with these children. So I hope that, I am very passionate about this. I taught school for a long time. I sat across from children, smart kids, great kids, and it still breaks my heart to this day, because I know in a lot of ways we failed those kids. We are in public education the one thing that levels the playing ground, I think, for all children. And we need to keep them in school, and we need to keep them involved, and look, we need to put our money where it needs to be. And I appreciate being with you, and thank you for welcoming me to Zambia.